you were involved in the Normandy invasion. Can you tell me about that? Can you tell me about the day you landed?
Well, that was a day that I'll never forget because when we landed in the steep part of the beach, it was testing our anxiety in getting our vehicles off, and I was driving this large 2x4 armored command vehicle that I was telling you about. And finally we got a shore, and we located a spot where we were looking for coverage from what was going on outside of us, as the area was lit up from bombs that were going on, and we didn't know whether there were bombs from the planes or from land or whatnot. But we were searching for areas to which we could hide ourselves, at least get some protection. And what we found in the end was that there was no way to find protection whatsoever.
So you moved inland towards the town of Falaise. What did you find when you got there?
Well, I was quite surprised. I was overwhelmed by the devastation that was there, tanks, dead cows. And these dead cows some were still breathing, and so they hadn't been dead very long. There were dead Germans lying around and tanks and whatnot. And the scene was definitely a war-like scene. And I guess it's something that I would never forget.
Now, tell us, were black soldiers treated any different than the white soldiers in the Second World War?
That's a very questionable question to ask, because we weren't all in an area where we could find out a lot about what was going on with other colored peoples or African people. And I would say during the Second World War, they probably were treated much better because they had better equipment to use, and I would hope that they used the same equipment as we did, as the other soldiers used, which I wouldn't doubt that we were using the same equipment. But no, I don't think there was much of a difference. Excuse me. The only areas where you may find a difference that many soldiers were not promoted as well in the Second War as they were in the first.
Now, after the war, you went to college, and tell us about that. How did you end up going to college?
Well, the company I worked for, they needed accountants to go down to certain areas where they had planned to open up offices for the newspaper company that I worked for. And so I was chosen as one of these workers within their company, or this company, to be further improved in our ability to be more acceptable in the work we were doing. And they wanted qualified people in those particular jobs, and that's why they wanted certain persons from Montreal to head these areas, whether it was going to be Texas or in Vancouver. And so a nice building was built, and we had all new staff built, and then that gave me an opportunity. In fact, I was asked to secure some other colored people. I said before, in Montreal is where I would relate to what colored people I knew, and I think I knew every colored person in Montreal at that time because I was very sports-minded, and I was involved very much in the church, and I belonged to another organization, and I was also involved in a lot of things that I was aspiring to. and I had people interested in me that I was very, very popular in that sense, and I always went by the name that he calls me as Danny, and this is how I lived very closely to our community. And I found out that yes, we had a group where we had this college kids belonged to, and which I was one.